Fortune cookie. Let's see. Read your fortune.
Love is for the lucky and the brave.
And see how you're going to use it at the end of our conversation.
Interesting phrase.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mpelo. It's a great pleasure to make your acquaintance. I've heard so much about you. Very, very excited to have this chat with you. And welcome to second installment of Face of Summer 2022. Welcome.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for having me. Such a great pleasure. I've also heard a lot about you. I look forward to the conversation that we're going to have today.
Dido, just tell us a little bit about your background. I think it's important for people to know who we're speaking to.
Yeah, not a learning background, but I think it's a background that can be celebrated. Originally, I come from Worcester. Mpelo comes from a family of 10 siblings. I'm the last born, hence my name Mpelo, which means last born.
Yes.
From Zweletemba, in a small community called Zweletemba in Worcester, which is about 60 kilometers from where we are today. I grew up there, did my primary, did my high school, then tertiary level I did in Cape Town, studied engineering at Cape Tech, worked a little bit in Stellenbosch, drank a lot of wine. I didn't
it's
know.
Good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Worked in Stellenbosch, went back to Cape Town, based in Johannesburg currently. Married, of course, happily married, with 2 kids. That's basically who Mpelo is.
Why Mama Afrika? Why?
Yeah, everyone asks that question, why Mama Afrika? Because it's a common name, it speaks to Mama Afrika, Mireille Makeba. People will relate to Mireille Makeba as Mama Afrika. Yvonne Chaka Chaka is Mama Afrika. But in this case, it relates to a bottle of wine, a premium bottle of wine, which I think it's got best juice inside.
We'll soon find out.
Indeed. So Mama Afrika comes from a small community story that I'm trying to tell to the entire world. In understanding Worcester as an area that is surrounded by mountains, it gets hot when it's hot. It gets cold when it's cold.
It snows.
Yeah, and it snows some days. So Mama Afrika comes from a mountain that looks right in front of the community where I grew up. But someone decided to call it Mama Afrika, but I'll tell you why it was called Mama Afrika. If you look at this mountain, it's got a silhouette. And the silhouette that this mountain has, it's got a silhouette of a female structure, female face.
Really?
That is lying down, looking up with, you can either call it dreadlocks or hair, But it's got a nice silhouette of a human face. And as kids, as we were growing up, due to the fact that we didn't have activities, nothing, the only thing that we can count on is education. And we used to tell ourselves that, we've got a guardian angel looking out for us as kids. One of these days, some of us will be, real people out there in the world. We will offer different things, education, educated. You'll get doctors, you'll get teachers, you'll get, lawyers coming out of this small community with no, economic activities. So Mama Afrika comes from that from that community story. It's not a personal story that I'm selling. I'm selling a child story that was dreaming then and looking out to this mountain and say, there is Mama Africa looking out for me. Looks out for us in terms of safety, keeps us safe. He gives us the ambience that one of these days we will be better persons.
Do you own the farm?
Mama Africa vision is quite big. At this point in time, we have a winemaker in-house as a brand. We buy grapes or buy bulk wine to produce our bottles. But our vision as a brand and as a company, is to find ourselves in the entire value chain of producing.
Right.
Is to own a farm, be able to look after the vineyards, because when you can tell tell a story about the whole value chain, it creates even better understanding of a product or of a brand. Yeah. So that's what we want to capture as a company and a brand.
And you have control of every sense.
You have control of the whole process and what comes out at the end. So Mama Afrika is looking to get bigger, and part of being bigger is to really find land, be able to plant vineyards and produce grapes, produce the juices that would be eventually loved by and enjoyed by the whole world.
I don't know if we're ready to taste.
I think so.
Right. As you pour, I'll ask you a few questions around the Chardonnay. What region?
The Chardonnay comes from Stellenbosch region.
Yes,
I pour. Go for it. Yeah.
Can't wait.
I hope it's chilled.
Can't wait.
Enough.
It's a Chardonnay. Remember the label.
Ah, yes.
It's a Chardonnay. Can be consumed at room temperature.
At room temperature, yes.
Ooh, it really is Stellenbosch.
The region is Stellenbosch, slightly wooded over a period of 10 months. Of course, during the 3 months less contact, it produces quite a number of beautiful aromas. But you have, of course, to balance that, and we balance that with the second or third fill barrel over a period of 10 months. So that we give the wine, structure and body, but over and above, a good balance between acidity and oak. I think from a nose, quite nice, beautiful butterscotch, vanilla at the back.
Yeah, French oak.
Yeah, French oak, yes. Beautiful.
Still fruity. It's a 2020.
It's a 2020.
Not necessarily fresh,
yeah.
but
it's got that elegance in it. Yeah. Nice, beautiful color too.
Very elegant. Yes, slightly wooded, not over wooded.
Yeah.
Accessible predominantly at the front of your palate.
Your palate, yeah.
So it loves food. On its own ideal temperature?
You beautifully at least about 19 degrees to be even, yeah.
Yeah, I would have it at about 9 degrees, nice and chilled. And if you have it at room temperature, it must be accompanied by food.
Yes, of course, yeah.
But otherwise, it's still have it at 16.
My 19 is based on our South African climate.
Right, and this is at a premium.
It's at
level.
a premium level.
Looking at
the bottling, there's always a story even with you package wine, you know,
Yes.
with a bottle. We could have selected a claret bottle, you know, which is standard European style, you know, straight bottle.
Yes, yeah, classic.
But because we're talking about Mama Afrika,
I see it now.
and when you speak about Mama Afrika, you're speaking about mamas. So you have to, you know, showcase the ability of our mamas, you know, because they give us warmth. They give us care. You know, when you get a hug from a big mama, you know you're getting a nice hug, a proper hug. Yeah. So we went with a burgundy.
Elephant.
Yeah, it's an elephant and slightly
The face of the woman.
face of the human face there, and we went with a burgundy bottle, you know, to complement the whole you know, brand concept.
Right. Malbec. Please don't tell me you get this Malbec from Argentina.
I would have loved, but I think it's actually a better Malbec than some of them Mendoza Malbecs. I actually got a review from UK saying that.
Oh wow!
Which is beautiful. The Malbec comes from. So the story about Malbec, it was not to get the Malbec anywhere, because you can get it anywhere in the country. But the vineyards are quite small. We don't have a lot. It's a very scarce product, cultivar. But I had to find a climate that, you know, suitable, and that gives me a similar, you know, Argentinian feel, Malbec, you know, and the terroir and all those aspects. And I couldn't find it in any other place than Robertson, the Robertson Valley.
Really?
Because of the climate, it's cool, warm climate. Malbecs tend to do quite well in warm climates. And of course, because of the southeaster wind, you know, that we get in the valley, it cools the vineyards, give it a nice balance, you know, of acidity and sugar.
And disease-free.
Yes. So it gives you, you know, fruitiness, and that's what I was after when I was looking for a Malbec. And I found a Malbec in the Robertson Valley. Let's do it.
Wow, fantastic color.
Yes.
Dark plum.
Yes.
Crimson rim. First approach, very fruity, like you said.
Yes, very fruity.
Oh, didn't expect plum. Dark berries.
Dark berries. It gives you all the dark, you know, dark fruits. We keep it for about 15 months in our barrels before we bottle. But what is nice about you know, it's the complement of the aromas and, you know, the flavors. It gives you it's you know those perfumes. You know those perfumes of people that walk into a room and you're consumed.
Yes.
That's what you get when you smell.
It's got a very attractive aromas.
Yeah, very
the bouquet
attractive.
is amazing.
Yeah, very attractive aromas.
And opens up really nice.
Very nice. It opens up quite nice.
So you said 15 months on French oak?
French oak, yeah.
First fill, second?
Second fill.
So it's not tight and
It's not tight. It's not tight.
Vintage?
It's not jammy.
Not at all. No.
Not at all. Vintage is a 2020. Our first vintage was 2021. Slightly different. This is slightly different from the 2021. 2019. Sorry. 2019 was quite shy as compared to 2020.
From the same vineyards?
From the same vineyards, yeah.
It's got beautiful length, no tannic structure. So it's almost like there are no tannins, but you can pick up that they are. And I think
easy drinking.
Yeah, I think it can be easy drinking at 16 degrees. Yes. Very easy to drink.
Yeah, very easy.
Food pairing at home, if there's anything. You are the one who actually cooks with wine.
I normally pair it at home. I love game meat. So I normally pair it a lot with game meat, lean game meat. Now and then, a good pochi or steak of Impala would be nice. But generally, also lovely with a good, steak of ostrich, nice and lean.
Yeah.
And steak of ostrich and roasted veggies. It's part of our strategy as well, giving people the experience.
Yes.
We do a lot of food pairing. We collaborate with a number of chefs, to create experiences, because you want people to take the experience home. Say, Lavi, can we cook with that Malbec?
Yeah,
so
I used to hunt ostrich steaks when I was living in Worcester. I would only find it at Woolworths there.
Yes.
And trust me, when I was asking you that question, that was the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
Now, in conclusion, before you read the message, what are the challenges that you find? Briefly, the challenges that you find in sales, production, and marketing regarding wine. As a wine owner.
I think some of the challenges are quite unique, depending on brand owners. But I think the biggest challenge in the wine industry, especially with small brands coming up, is the availability of land, the availability of space, so that we can produce. But over and above that, I think the climate, issues that are coming, climate changes, they are creating, a lot of shift within the industry in terms of product. It requires us to be innovative, and we haven't seen innovation in quite a while in the wine industry.
Yes.
But I think I appreciate that we've got a lot of young winemakers who are pushing for innovation and are pushing for innovative product, different ways of making things, different ways of blending, different ways of producing, the same juice that we enjoy today. So those are some of the unique problems. I can go on. There's quite a lot, but I don't want to go on. But I think
time constraints.
Yeah, but I think what is important, which I see as a positive, is collaboration. I think the wine industry teaches us a lot about collaboration.
Right.
Because when I came
Don't you think that falls right into your message of the fortune cookie?
Okay, let's go back to that. It speaks about love is for the lucky and the brave. Love is for the lucky and the brave. How do I relate to this? The only time you find true love is when you invest in it. First you go after it, you invest in it, you then reap the rewards. And the only time you go after something is when you carry a brave heart. And I think with Mama Afrika, I've done just that.
Yes.
It's a dream that has been there, lingering. I wore that brave heart, and I chased after that dream.
And you invested.
And I invested in the dream.
Cheers to you.
Mama
the best
Afrika.
of luck.
Mama Afrika was born. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you for making the time.
Yeah, it's just been a lovely chat and also lovely meeting you. Thank you very much. I hope to see a lot of collaboration, a lot of conversations going forward. It's not
Absolutely.
for the last, and it's actually the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. Cheers to that.
Cheers.